Hey everyone, welcome back to the iConis podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. And I found something that fits my Gemini persona. Tomax and Xamot from G.I. Joe. Or better yet, what's in the case, Barry? What's in the case? And here we are today with Tomax and Xamot from G.I. Joe Classified. Those are two of my favorite characters. They represent my Gemini in me. Here we go. Now, I'm not unboxing these characters. I just wanted to kind of give a quick, brief overview of the both of them. I think these are two great characters that made their first appearance in G.I. Joe issue number 37. Cover was done by Mike Zeck and the Crimson Commanders, and of course, stories by Larry Hama. So with this together, these guys had this look. It was very classic. I like their whole dynamic of how they interacted, and they were different from Cobra. And as you can see, they have their own sets of weapons. Represent the characters, and of course, one being left-handed, the other one being right-handed. The packaging is also great. So Tomax is number 44, Xamot is number 45. So very similar what you get for each character, but I think they should have been done as a set. Of course, they go back to the Corsican brothers. I remember the Corsican brothers from Cheech and Chong, but this is where the whole thing comes in, where a set of twins can identify where they are each time and feel what the other one feels. When you put both boxes together, you represent you get the Cobra insignia and how the characters are standing back to back. Cool dynamic if you want to display them either way, and of course, what they represent. I think they could have had a playset like Oscar Goldman from the $6 Million Man. And now we're going to get into what is in the case. So the case reminds me of the Oscar Goldman exploding briefcase. We got the nice details on the top, and it's got a nice slipcover here, Extensive Enterprises, which represents their brand within Cobra, Crimson Strike Team. This is awesome. This is a special edition repaint that they did for it, and I think they really did a nice job. Right? I think they still should have had their own building with them in their suits, as I saw here online. Once again, a lot of history for these characters. Now, this is just a slipcover. Once you take the slipcover off, you see it's got some battle damage with some bullet holes, some blood here on the side of it. So this went through a hard retrieval process, as what I'd like to say. And the question still is, what's in the case? And we're getting to that. So now you can see side by side the slipcover with the actual case itself, which also makes for a great display. So the case has some little magnets inside the top, which gives you the feel of opening a briefcase to get to the wonders on the inside. Now, here we got, Tomax and Xamot, of course, with the briefcase open, with their look. So their look is a little bit different. As you can see in the television screen on the inside of this case, it's got them all in red outfits, including Baroness, and then Baroness screaming at Chuckles, walking away with this briefcase. It's got the gold bars, serpentine dollars, as you like to call it if you watch the G.I. Joe, the cartoon. This is what they used to trade in. And Chuckles, to me, should have been teamed up with CoverGirl. I think this would have been a cool story and concept and adds more to the imagination there. Maybe it's a story that's not covered, but should be covered. So as we look across, we see them now yelling, screaming in disbelief that Chuckles is walking away coolly with this briefcase that they had. And of course, through whatever Chuckles did, and maybe with him and CoverGirl, we're able to acquire it for G.I. Joe. Now we take out the dollars, the gold bars there with a Cobra insignia on it. And if you turn that cardboard over, you see it's got a file folder with some details and schematics of a battle android trooper. How cool is that? That they're trading in these secrets. So it's tying in a lot of G.I. Joe lore, extensive enterprise lore. As I get a deeper look here of the battle android trooper, I'm loving everything I'm seeing here. And then, of course, now we get to the figures. So you see, all the figures are here, along with Baroness, which is a cool addition if you think about where she falls into the mythos of Cobra and G.I. Joe, a real American hero. I like the repaint on this one, where it's the red and black. I think it still works. It works with Baroness. And of course, here's a picture from Foosh.com with it all displayed because I'm not opening it. So these here represent all the items that you get in those little boxes underneath the figure's feet, which is a stand, their weapons. With Baroness, it's an extra face plate, another face for her to use. I think this is a great piece to have. If you get some of the Crimson soldiers or Crimson troopers, you can add this on if you wanted to take it all out and display it. I think this would be a nice setup diorama to make, or just keep it as is. That's my intention. That I'm going to keep this in the box as is and just have it open to display it that way. I change my mind in the future, but that's what it is. So, not truly an unboxing, but just wanted to show you that. And remember, this whole world was started by a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming.